Hi all, this is Logopriya, Assistant Professor from the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, Rampur Institute of Technology, Rajapalayam. Here we are going to discuss a topic in human values and ethics, that is democratic values. Democratic values are the principles which promote equality, freedom, justice, respect, and active participation of all the citizens by ensuring a fair and inclusive for and responsible society. Let's have an abbreviation over it. So E for equality, L for liberty, and F for freedom, J for justice, and F for fraternity, P for pluralism, R for respect for all, T tolerance, and F for freedom of expression, C is then citizen participation. So let's discuss one by one. So we have a clear definition about democratic values, that is, which is a core principle and ideas that guide a democratic political system. It emphasizes freedom, equality, justice, participation, and a rule of law. Those values uphold the dignity and have a rights of every individual in the society to live what they are, while ensuring that power is derived from the consent of government. And then which refers to as beliefs and principles that underpin a democratic governance in society, in which the values are being fundamental to functioning of democratic systems and are considered essential for ensuring the rights, freedom, and well-being of an individual within a society. So let's see what are the democratic values. The first thing is equality. Second one is liberty, that is based on our personal choice. Fraternity in the sense brotherhood, that we are having unity and caring for one another. Next thing is freedom. Yeah, we want freedom to express our ideas, thoughts, etc. Justice, fairness, and correcting our wrong decisions. Pluralism, living together peacefully. And tolerance, which have to respect opinions of others. And then respect for all, valuing every individual regardless of caste, community, gender, like this. Freedom of an expression. People can share ideas respectfully without fear. And the last but not least is citizen participation in governance. That means citizens actively participate rather than remain passive. So let's see one by one. The first thing is equality. In equality instance, equal treatment and opportunities will be given for all the human beings. Let's see an example. A college announced 24 hours hackathon. The prize was 50,000. On registration day, some students suggested only final year toppers should participate. Beginners will only waste the time like that. The faculty coordinator smiled and replied, the competition is for everyone. Talent doesn't comes with an CGPA. A second year student who had learned programming from YouTube participated his innovative healthcare app and won the first prize, beating the experienced programmers. Everyone realized that opportunity should be given equal because success depends on the effort and creativity, not from the background like marks or beyond the social status. So equality means giving everyone the safe opportunity and treating everyone fairly. Equal opportunities reveal the hidden talents. So the physical definition is all the individuals should have equal rights and opportunities and the treatment under the law. So the dimensions are divided into three as political, social, and economic. On political, equal rights to vote and participate in politics. Beyond the social, equal access to education, healthcare, and employment. And on economic, which is equal opportunities for economic advancements. On the Miller's view, he emphasized the political equality and the need for a balance with the merit. Example, equal access to education through scholarship and affirmative action. I think I have given a better example. So let's see next thing. The next one is liberty. In the physical definition, individuals should have the right to pursue their interests and express themselves freely. So, in Miller's view, advocates for individual freedoms with limitations only to prevent harm to others. Freedom of speech, allowing the citizens to criticize government policies also. So, which includes the freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, and associative. Limitation in the sense liberty may be restricted to protect public safety and to the right of others. This is the only limitations based on the liberty. So providing opportunities for the development of individual personalities, which may be divided as positive and negative liberty. On the positive liberty, one can be free only in the society, not on the outside of it. Therefore, it is possibility of acting or a fact of acting in such a way as to take control of one's life and realize one's fundamental purposes. In the negative way, concerned with the inviolable area of non-interference and not within a condition in society, that is absence of obstacles, barriers, and constraint. Let's say an example: a person wanted to secure a software job. His parents want him to prepare for government exams. His friends plan to go to abroad, but his personal decision want to build up a startup for a farmers. Everyone gave advice, but no one forced him, right? So he finally launched his startup, which helped thousands of farmers predicting the crop disease. And his success came because he had a liberty to choose his own path. The concept behind this liberty means the freedom to make personal choices without unnecessary interferences. From this, we can get a moral like freedom allows people to discover their true potential. The next thing is fraternity. Fraternity means which emphasize the mutual respect. That means cooperation, concern for others, all included in a fraternity. Promotes a sense of brotherlyhood to be unity among the citizens, which collective responsible and support for a common good. Like social welfare programs and community building initiatives can also pathway for a fraternity. In Miller's point of view, promotes tolerance and respect for diverse opinion, fostering the social cohesion. For example, community support during crisis time and such neighbors help each other after a natural disaster. Let's have a good example as flood rescue. Heavy rains flooded a nearby village. Students from different departments, from A, CSE, and some other departments, and some they are belongs to different religion, different language speaking peoples voluntarily together. No one asked which department, which religion, which community, which caste you are. They work day and night distributing the food, medicines. The villagers remembered them not as an individual but as a united team. The concept behind is to be brotherlyhood, unity, and care for one another. The moral behind is society grows stronger when people stand together. That is the way. And then fraternity by Ambedkar instance is the principle which gives a unit and solidity to the social life. This is the principle by Dr. Ambedkar. It is the feeling that will protect the unity of India against external attack or disintegration through internal unrest born of social, political, and economic causes. The principle beyond fraternity is common citizenship, which directed towards strengthening the society by unity and integrity of the nation, which also promote by initiating equal rights to all. However, fraternity is possible. Sometimes it is not possible unless the dignity of each individual is preserved and respected. Unless it can't be achieved, maintaining the dignity requires the guarantee of certain minimal justable rights to be having by each individual. Okay, let's go for next thing. Freedom and justice. Freedom is autonomy in personal, political, and economic life. Justice in the social, economic, and political fairness. So for freedom, freedom is an overarching principle that individuals should have autonomy in their actions and beliefs. As long as they do not have infringe on rights of others. So let's have a types on freedom. Freedom of expression. One have full freedom to show their expression in voice opinions or ideas. That is right to voice opinions and ideas in a public places or in a private rights. Freedom of assembly instance right to gather and protest peacefully for a perfect reason. Freedom to religion, right to practice any faith or none. It is up to their personal. So the important is to ensure open debate, diversity of viewpoints, and accountability in governance. So let's have an example in freedom. The college planned to publish an annual magazine. Students wanted to give articles on climatic change, healthcare, mental health, and entrepreneurship and socialism. The one article, Citizens Plastic Waste on Campus. Some worried it might upset the administration. The principal read it and said, constructive criticism helps us to improve. And so he decided to publish the magazine. This article inspired a plastic free campus and campaign. So the freedom allows people to think, write, create, and express an ideas. Responsibility. The moral from this freedom is responsible freedom creates a positive change in the society. The next thing is justice. Justice is fair and impartial treatment for all the individual, which ensures equitable distribution of rights, duties, and resources. In this aspect, we have divided this into three: legal, social, and restorative. Legal in the sense equal application of laws and access to the legal remedies. Social justice addressing inequalities based on wealth, opportunity, and access to basic needs. And the last thing is restorative justice, repairing the harm caused by the wrongdoing and rehabilitating the offenders, those who are really in need. So, in implementation, upholding the due process, protecting human rights, and ensuring the fair trials are fundamental to justice in a democracy. So, let's have an example in an examination. After semester results, someone failed in one subject. She or he know that she had written the exam well. Instead of ignoring her complaint, the university re-evaluated the answer sheet. A total mistake was found, and his or her mark is increased, and here she is passed. Justice was served because the system corrected its mistake. So, justice means fairness and correcting the wrong decision without any hesitation. A fair system protects everyone. That is a moral from this justice. Next thing is pluralism, tolerance, and respect. So let's see one by one. Pluralism means coexistence of diverse culture and identities. So, we want to accept the celebration of diversity in society so that we can recognize the people as they are, not irrespective of their religion, caste. Likewise, recognizing the multiple perspective, believing, and identities. We want to enjoy all the festivals and all the celebrations to be in a united nation. So let's see the key features behind the pluralism is diverse perspective. In the sense, inclusion is encouraged for various viewpoints in the public discourse. And then respect for differences is the second thing. How we can, in the sense, promote tolerance and understanding across different culture, religion, and lifestyle. And we want to enjoy over it. And in political, existence of multiple political parties and interested groups can do this. And protection of minority rights safeguard minority groups from a marginalization. Pluralism strengthens democratic institutions by fostering inclusivity, civic engagement, and people coexistence. Let's see an example over it. It is a festival week. The college organized a unity week. One day celebrated Pongal and another for Eid and then Christmas and then Onam. Students from different cultures explained the meaning behind each festival. Everyone tasted different foods or traditional dresses and learned new customs. Nobody was asked to change their identity. Instead, everyone celebrated the diversity. Pluralism means different cultures, beliefs, traditions living together peacefully. So the moral from pluralism is diversity makes the society more richer than as they are. So let's see the next thing. That is tolerism. Tolerance, tolerism is a basic need for every human being. Tolerance is the democratic constant, which means accepting and respecting their rights, beliefs, civil liberties of an individual or a group whose viewpoints differ from one's own. And then willingness to allow expression and existence of different opinion, lifestyle, culture within a society. Tolerance is not just a passive acceptance, but also an active respect for a diversity and difference, which is more essential for stable health, legitimacy of democratic societies, enabling individuals and groups to live together peacefully while making their distinct identities and beliefs. Let's see an example over it. Four students worked on a project. That means it is a group project. One preferred Python and another one is love to code in Java. And third wanted a Flutter. Fourth believe in low code platforms other than it. Initially, they argued constantly. Their guide suggested instead of proving who is right, understand why each idea exists. They listened to one another and combined the best features in one project, their project won the first prize in the competition. So from this, the tolerance means respecting of each other opinions, even when they differ from yours. You want to accept that what they are and what is their opinion. So from this, the moral is listening, often solving the problem better than arguing it. So let's see some key features beyond it. Respect for diversity, freedom of expression, peaceful coexistence, political tolerance, and a moral virtue. So let's see. Tolerance is about recognizing and valuing diversity in opinion, belief, ethnicity, and culture, which which give a foundation for a pluralism and openness in a democratic society. And then which ensure the free exchange of ideas and robust in a public debate. By accepting differences, tolerance enable people to coexist peacefully and manage the conflicts constructively and avoid the violence or discrimination among the people. In politics, tolerance means upholding the civil liberalities of all human, including those with opposing or minority views. Essential for functioning the democratic institutions like parliaments and for the legitimacy of government decisions also. The moral virtue instance is often seen as a moral duty involving fairness, empathy, and regardless of their background of belief. I think so. I have given a best example for understanding this. So one more is public debate, minority rights, and community harmony. Community harmony in this fosters social unity. Tolerance mostly fosters a social unity. So only peaceful coexistence in diverse society, making democracy resilient and inclusive opinions also. Minority rights, in the point of minority rights, there are many minority groups which can participate fully in the society and that their rights are protected even when their views different from their majority groups. And in public debate, citizens are encouraged to share and listen to different viewpoints, leading to the better understanding and accept and widely to accept their decisions also. And the next thing is respect. Respect is a democratic context, meaning recognizing the inherent dignity, rights, and worth of every individual. Respect is not only based on their job, based on the physical view, it has come from the heart. It involves treating all people fairly, listening to their perspectives, and valuing their contribution, opinions, regardless of their background or belief or opinion or physique, whatever. It underpins equality, inclusivity, and protection of rights, making it essential for functioning legitimacy and resilience of democratic society. So let's have an example over the respect. Student usually rush past the college gate without noticing the security guard. One day, a student greeted him every morning. During the campus placement, the student accidentally left important documents at the gate itself. The security guard recognized him and safely returned to the file to the student. The student realized that every person's work deserves a respect. So from that meaning, that means valuing every individual regardless of their role or status. Respect is earned by giving it, not by only by getting it. So recognition of a rights, what I said in the example, which is a foundation to human rights and democracy, which ensures every rights and freedom are acknowledged and protected, including freedom of an opinion and expression. Right? Inclusivity, which creates an environment where diverse voices are heard, valued, fostering inclusivity and pluralism within the society. Constructive dialogue, in sense, respectful interaction encourage and honest communication to reduce conflicts and allow for a peaceful coexistence and compromisation. Trust and social cohesion. When the people feel respected, trust is built, leading to stronger relationship and more cohesive society. So the next thing is respect for all. We all see that having a respect is crucial for healthy relationship. We shouldn't expect to receive it in return. And if we don't respect ourselves, others won't respect us either. So also respect also play a big role in our sense of security and well-being. So let's see the next thing. Freedom of expression and citizen participation. Expression in the sense speak and share their ideas without fear. Let's see it. Yeah, let's see it. So in this, the college wanted ideas to reduce electricity consumption. Most of the students stayed silent. One quiet student suggested, let us A-based smart lighting. Some laughed. The faculty encouraged everyone to discuss the idea. After implementation, electricity usage dropped significantly. The student confidence grew because his opinion was shared. Concept and since freedom of expression means the people can share their ideas respectfully without the fear. Moral great innovation often begins with one brave opinion. And then for a citizen participation, participation in citizens voting, protesting, and engaging in the governance. Let's have a small example in our smart campus also. Students frequently complained about parking, Wi-Fi, and cafeteria queues, right? Instead of only complaining on social media, the student council invited everyone to vote on priorities based on their suggestions and solutions. Students form a committees, collect data, and presented a practical recommendation to the administration. Many suggestions were implemented within a semester. The campus improved because the students actively participated in decision making. From this, the concept beyond this is democracy becomes stronger when citizens actively participate rather than remaining passive. So the moral beyond is good governance depends on an active participation, not just an criticism. Thanks for hearing. Thank you all.